Good afternoon and a warm welcome back to our streaming series Ars Electronica Home Delivery Inside Festival program. It's a streaming series on some sneak peeks, also some personal excitements and of course highlights and recommendations to you for our upcoming festival which is happening in a bit less than actually 5 weeks, so already quite soon. My name is Veronika Liebl and I'm here today with my awesome colleague Newman. We are both currently working on the new digital deal, so is the festival called, and we are of course behind the scenes with all our partners, artists, discussing ideas, projects, of course also conferences, exhibition projects, addressing certain aspects of a fundamental paradigm shift of how and what we can or must deal with when it comes to the whole world of digitalization. What began as a tool technology has become really a central transformative cultural technology, and what was developed as a work environment has become a social habitat that is home to over 4 billion people. What began as a fun, harmless exchange of daily banalities, maybe some cat photos included, is now really a political battleground. And how we deal with this, how we also prepare for its further impact, how we think about the social, ecological and political frameworks, this needs to be fundamentally changed. Such a new digital deal will also heavily depend on rethinking our information society, one where qualitative journalism on the one side, but also digital tools on the other side live together and do not exclude each other. And this is exactly our session topic today, critical journalism. The first project is actually addressing this in a really fantastic and exceptional way and reflects on the social political backgrounds of Chile. Celeste Rojas Mugica is a visual artist, photographer and filmmaker. Her work actually investigates the recent political history while also exploring the limits between fiction and documentary. Her project, which she will present, Aridity Exercises, will actually be both here in Linz in the theme exhibition as well as in a gallery in Santiago de Chile. The whole program and also the presentation of her specific project is supported by a really long-lasting, fantastic and growing collaboration between Chile and Ars Electronica, in particular between the Ministerio de las Culturas, las Artes y el Patrimonio and also the Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores, Gobierno de Chile. The project itself investigates the mysteries and also social political backgrounds of the image of a 2-kilometre-long Corvo knife, that's how it's called, which is actually a symbol, a historic emblem of the Chilean armed forces, drawn with caulk on the surface of the Atacama Desert. So imagine really a 2-kilometre-long image drawn in the desert. During Chile's most recent dictatorship, this knife was used to execute thousands of people as part of a systematic policy of extermination and disappearance. The interactive project, which is presented in this art project, produced also or showcases somehow a territory where you can navigate around, click on also different points of interest and insert coordinates also to discuss and discover the interconnection between the physical and the political map. Let's look into the project.
En el año 2011, una mujer, parte de una agrupación de familiares de ejecutados políticos en Calama, Chile, recibió información sobre la existencia de un cuchillo Corvo de 2 kilómetros de extensión, trazado con cal sobre el suelo del desierto de Atacama. En la cima del cuchillo y a cada costado de la empuñadura se habían trazado los números 11, 73 y 78, y un círculo perfecto de aproximadamente 600 metros de diámetro. El Corvo es un emblema histórico de las Fuerzas Armadas en la región. Fue incorporado como arma de combate por el ejército chileno en la Guerra del Pacífico, a fines del siglo XIX. Y durante la más reciente dictadura cívico-militar, el arma fue empleada para la ejecución de miles de personas en el marco de una política sistemática de exterminio y desaparición. Las referencias numéricas que contiene el dibujo parecieran señalar el año del golpe de Estado y diversos planes de ejecución y desaparición forzada, algunos de ellos encomendados por Pinochet a los regimientos del país a través de mensajes encriptados, con el objetivo de remover los cuerpos de miles de ejecutados políticos y lanzarlos hacia lo profundo del mar. De la autoría de este monumental dibujo no hay certeza. Sin embargo, la imagen hace visible lo deliberado del gesto y la persistencia del territorio físico que la alberga. Un corvo permanece incrustado en la tierra más seca del mundo.
This year saw the launch of the first Ars Electronica Award for Digital Humanity. Art and culture shape our reality. They pose a question of what constitutes being a human being in the digital world. The Ars Electronica Award for Digital Humanity emphasizes in equal terms the humaneness and humanism that must dictate the development of new technologies. The award honors projects and artworks that inspire a fundamental rethinking in our contemporary approach to technology. It's time to resign our roles as mere data-generating machines and actively partake in the shaping of our digital future. The award for digital humanity is supported by the Austrian government and the Federal Ministry for European and International Affairs, and the winner of it this year was Branch magazine, an online publication that takes a critical perspective on online publications and online existence, especially how they have ecological consequences. The internet is the world's largest fossil-fueled machine. If we continue business as usual, the IT sector will be responsible for 14% of the world's carbon emissions by 2040. The creators of Branch magazine, on the other hand, have a different vision for the future of the World Wide Web. The internet should serve our collective liberation and be committed to ecological sustainability. And online magazine Branch is committed to doing this. We have up on the screen here the magazine on Branch. One of the most interesting things that I find about this magazine is actually the design is based on not having too many ecological consequences. So what we have here in the grid, have a live view of the grid intensity. So it tracks the grid intensity of the electricity grid at the moment and how much of it is being used. When there is a high amount of the grid being used, that means that there's not enough sustainable sort of power sources being used, because then it goes to the old coal-powered source when there's too much demand. And the website reshapes itself so that it uses less data, so therefore less energy. So here we have, instead of the image now, just the title, and then if you go to the moderate, it's a sort of less high resolution image for the magazine, and then low is the highest quality, so that's when there's not too much impact on the grid. But this is just the design of the magazine, which is actually the sort of fundamental sort of mission being shown through the design, but the actual magazine is dealing with topics and issues that deal with the issues of the internet and the ecological implications of the internet. And one of the amazing things also is that they will be curating our Digital Humanism, New Digital Deal conference session at the festival this year. So this we are very much looking forward to. And the panels will be a sustainable and just internet for all, solar punk and narratives of mass resonance, inter-citizenship and an internet for solidarity and care, low carbon design and education. You can check out the magazine online now at branch.climateaction.tech, and I highly recommend. There's some really interesting articles there, and it is open access, so you don't have to worry about paying for anything to read high quality critical journalism about the internet and how we can live better with the internet. So now I'll pass over to Veronika.
Yes, a really, really fantastic project, also investigation, and of course extremely important part also of forming our new digital deal for this year's festival. From this sustainable internet for all and an investigation in the form of a magazine to I would say investigation crowdsourced also to 44 artists from all over Europe and beyond. The EMAP Garden from the European Media Arts Platform centers actually 3 thematic areas this year: the sociosphere, the ecosphere, and the body data sphere. The sociosphere focuses on the social, political, and economical challenges of our digital globalized world, whereas the ecosphere highlights the consequences of the digitalization on our ecosystems. And in the context of the body data sphere, the artists devote themselves to digital bodies and senses, and in particular also to the fact that these are increasingly integrated into technological environments, monitored, predicted, and also controlled by them. As I said, this project, this whole platform, lives actually from the input of 44 artists who did residencies over the past 4 years. Ars Electronica also staged 4 of them within the last 4 years. It actually contains 11 institutions from all over Europe working on these topics. One absolute personal recommendation, if you're interested also in virtual club nights and maybe dressing up online. The EMAP Garden also presents the Bayer Masque, a mask ball organized by Impact. Really highly recommended. And let's look into the program of this garden.
We roam through the hanging gardens of digitization, traverse socio, echo and body data spheres, presenting from 11 partner institutions a total of 44 works in 3 one-hour shows. Move to the sociosphere.
This video exposes some practices broadly used for online influence, persuasion, and manipulation, as well as creative responses that they triggered in the civil society.
Once we are in love, what can world history do to us? Let's follow Chloé Galibert-Lenné and her crash with a superstar.
Je t'ai écrit hier soir pour te dire que j'avais finalement retrouvé la trace de ce jeune homme, que je cherche sur Internet depuis que j'ai aperçu son visage au détour d'une vidéo, il y a plusieurs semaines.
On August 21st, 1911, the Mona Lisa was stolen from the Louvre in Paris. The theft caused a media sensation in France, and even Pablo Picasso was brought in for questioning as a suspect at one point. Until the painting was recovered in 1913, visitors came by the thousands to see the empty spot on the museum wall where she had been.
Move to the ecosphere.
How do trees and microplastics coexist in forests, capturing carbon in the time of the climate crisis? Stranger to the Trees is a multimedia work by Kat Austin that elaborates the coexistence of microplastics and trees using transdisciplinary methods.
Aquaforensic illuminates the invisible anthropogenic pharmaceutical chemical pollutants, residues of human consumption, monsters in the waters. The project combines art, science, citizen science in a hunt for a phantom, and opens the discussion about our solidarity and empathy with waters beyond human perception.
Move to the body data sphere.
Welcome to the Empathy Swarm telehabitat. Habitat?
Yeah, so the robots are living with us in times of COVID, and normally Empathy Swarm is about interaction of robots and people and how to use movement for the exchange of emotional ideas between both species.
44 works in the last 4 years. That's what EMAP, a consortium of 11 leading media art institutions in Europe, has co-produced. Soon to be seen in EMAP Garden at Ars Electronica 2021.
So when the internet came about, journalism took a hit. There was lots of sort of amazing sort of plans that journalism would be able to open up the world to so many perspectives, but we just got noise and misinformation, and it's really had to try and reconfigure its place in the world online. But getting perspectives is very important, and especially perspectives from people that we don't see in the standard newspaper articles as often as we should, and that is the young people. This year we had a submission from Isa Mutvelik, Simon Effenberger and David Stummer, a short film that gave their perspective on the world at the moment. And to be honest, it is a little bleak, but you can't blame them. The last year has been tough for young people. They've been locked up at home, they've been unable to see their friends, and they also see in the news that the world is burning, the world is flooding, and this is what they're going to grow up to. And they need to work out how to change this. It is a responsibility that they shouldn't have to have, but we've left to them with it. And one of the things that we always have at our festival is the youth part of the festival, where we give these young people agency, give them the ambition to create their own world. And the Create Your World part of the festival also runs the pre-Ars Electronica for under 19s. And this work that we're about to see, Insert, got the Young Professionals distinction. So I would like to show you the film now and keep in mind about the tough times that young people are facing.
This project, as well as all other fantastic festival programs, exhibition projects, as well as conferences, programs, prize winners, will be featured in our catalogs this year. And we don't produce only one catalog, we don't produce two catalogs, not even three. No, we produce actually 4 catalogs currently. We have, as an example, one of the catalogs, or actually 3 of the catalogs from the festival editions here with us. You see, they are quite massive. They do require some extensive work from our dear colleagues also in the editorial team. They are currently working actually on finalizing everything. We brought also today the cover, which is already ready. And now we also have in our offices many paper sheets of A3 where they're doing correction rounds. Usually we really try to avoid printing paper, but in this case it's still this classical manual work of final proofreading and flag editing. You can also then download for free the PDFs of the catalogs. It's the festival catalog, it's also the cyber arts catalog, combining all of the prize-winning works. Then the Future Lab colleagues have their anniversary, the 25th anniversary, and also produce a catalog this year, as well as the catalog on our European Artificial Intelligence Lab. If you actually want to order a copy, you can do so via Amazon or preferably your local bookseller, those who are supplied by our publishing house Katja Kanz. That brings us already to the end of this session. For the next Inside Festival, we focus on micro and macrocosmic views with a trip to the Atacama Desert and our gardens, one of our gardens in Chile, as well as a short introduction into our this year's Artist in Residence Interspecifics. With this, a warm goodbye for today. We really look forward to welcome you soon again in one of our Inside Festival editions, and hope that you will stay tuned on our festival program. Goodbye.